let's take a look at the chalkboard. I want you to think as I read this story problem. When it is midnight in Toronto, Ontario, it is 9 p.m. in San Diego, California. What time is it in Toronto when it is midnight in San Diego? There are a lot of facts in that story problem. So let's think through it step by step. First of all, I've written the two times that we're going to start with here. It is 12 a.m. in Toronto, Ontario. 12 a.m. is midnight. Then, in the same place, in a different place in San Diego, California, at that same moment, it is 9 p.m. That happens because there are changes in our time as far as our time zones. So according to the different time zones in the Northern Hemisphere, at the same moment, it could be 12 a.m. in Toronto, Ontario, and 9 p.m. in San Diego, California. So we're going to start by setting our clock here to 9 p.m. in San Diego, California. If it is 9 p.m. in San Diego, California, at that same moment, it is 12 a.m. in Toronto. So how many more hours, let's see, would it take for me to take this hour from 9 p.m. and go to 12? You count while my hand goes around. Ready? What is it? 1, 2, and 3. So that means that Toronto, Ontario is 3 hours ahead of San Diego, California. So at that same moment, these two are the same moment. They're just different times on the clock because of time zones. Now we're going to think through the last part of that question or that story problem that said, what time is it in Toronto when it is midnight in San Diego? So in San Diego, it is now midnight. 12 a.m. is midnight. Now we're trying to think, what time would it be in Toronto? Well, we know that Toronto is 3 hours ahead. So we just have to go 3 entire hours. Count with me, 2, 3, then hold up the stop sign. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And what is it? What time is it, Una?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Nice job. So we know that it is 3 a.m. because it is 3 hours ahead in Toronto. Now, we're going to take a look at another time, 7:45. Before we start our next story problem, what is another way to say 7:45? It is a quarter until what next hour, Carson?
A quarter till 8.
Yes, a quarter until 8. So I'm going to set this clock for 7:45, showing that it is almost 8 o'clock. Now listen as I read. At a quarter till 8, Ellie leaves for her school in San Diego. What time is it in Toronto then? So at the time that Ellie leaves for school, it is 7:45, which would be in the morning. Now, at that same moment, what time is it in Toronto? We have to use our clue. It's 3 hours ahead. So I'm going to turn it by 3. You count with me till 3, then hold up the stop sign. Ready? 1, 2, 3. What time is this, Una?
10:45.
Yes, 10:45. Good job. Now, 10:45, we could also say that another way. What is another way to say 10:45? It is a quarter until what next hour, Dev?
9.
Not 9. What is it almost going to be?
11.
11. So it's actually a quarter until 11. Good thinking. Now let's think through one next story problem. We're going to start with our time, 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m., is that in the afternoon or is that in the morning, Anna? PM, does that represent afternoon or morning?
Afternoon.
It does. It represents afternoon. So 6:30 p.m. is where our story problem starts. Rachel eats dinner with her family in Toronto at 6:30 each evening. What time is it in San Diego when Rachel's family eats dinner? So we're trying to figure out the same moment in a different city. But we're starting at 6:30 in Toronto. If I said that Toronto is 3 hours ahead, in order to find San Diego's time, we have to go backwards 3 hours. So I'm going to turn the clock backwards 3 hours. You count with me to 3, then hold up the stop sign. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And what time is it, Jimmy?
3:30.
Yes. So at that same moment, it is 3:30 in the afternoon in San Diego. Way to think through that elapsed time. Now take out a scrap sheet of paper and a pencil. We're going to measure or draw some lines. I need Madison at number 1 on the chalkboard, Cadence at number 2, and Arthur at number 3. Listen carefully for the line length that we are going to draw. Take out your rulers, take out that pencil, take out that scrap paper. Find the inches side. Students at the chalkboard, you are going to use the rulers on the chalkboard. The first line length you're going to draw is 4.5 inches. Find a spot that's 4.5 inches and draw that length. Underneath it, draw a line that is 8 inches. 8 inches. Underneath it, draw a line that is 3 inches. 3 inches. So you're doing 3 inches. Cadence, you're doing 8 inches. And good, Madison, you're doing 4.5 inches. You just need to do the 1 for us. Oh, once you did 3 inches, you're good, but make sure it's on the inches side. Looks like yours is upside down. So let's flip it so it's the right way, and then start on the 0, and then go all the way to the 3, and then you're done. All right, thank you, helpers. You may be seated. All right, let's take a look at your answers to see if your line lengths are correct. The first one you should have done was 4.5 inches. Right here, we have our ruler representing 4.5 inches, so it should be about this length long on your paper. The next one should be 8 inches, so about this long is 8 inches, and then your next one should be about 3 inches. Once we line this ruler up, we see that, yes, this line is almost 3 inches. If we stop it right about here, that will be about 3 inches. Now on your paper, go ahead and do 2.5 inches and 10 inches. 2.5 inches and 10 inches. All right, let's check. 2.5 inches would be about from 0 to about where my finger is. That's 2.5 inches. 10 inches would almost be the entire length of your ruler from the 0 all the way down to the 10. Go ahead and set that scrap sheet of paper, ruler, and pencil on your desk. And now let's think through some more of our measures. As we read through our measures, we're going to read through the entire sentence, filling in the answer that would go in the box. And let's have girls stand and read our first one together. Begin. 1 pint equals 2 cups. 1 quart equals 2 pints. 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. Be seated. Gentlemen, stand and continue. 1 yard equals 36 inches. 1 foot equals 12 inches. 1 yard equals 3 feet. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. Good job. 1 day is how many hours, Adriana?
24.
Good. A minute is how many seconds, Anna?
60.
You've got it. Now let's take a look at the chalkboard, Gage, and we're going to take a look at my basketball. On the chalkboard, I have my basketball hoop, and I am ready to make a shot into my basketball. Now, I did it up and through the hoop. So we have almost a +1 at the top. So we have a +1 right here at the top. When we add that to the final answer, that's like an and 1 in basketball. So now we have 1 times 2, which equals what, class?
2.
2. And then 2 plus 1 equals?
3.
3. So my final answer is 36. Let's take a look at this problem. 25 times 3. 5 times 3 equals, class?
60.
Good. But I can't write both digits here. So I'm going to add that and 1 at the top. And I'm going to make sure that when I do so, I add it. I'm not multiplying it, I'm adding it. What is 2 times 3, class?
6.
Plus 1 is?
7.
7 is the correct answer. So my final answer is 75. Let's look at 36 times 2. 6 times 2 equals?
12.
12. What digit do I carry to the top of the next column, Carson?
1.
1. So I'm going to add that 1 to the top. Now we have 3 times 2 equals, class?
6.
6 plus 1 equals?
7.
Good. So my final answer is 72. We're going to practice more together on our arithmetic page. Take out your arithmetic page, a pencil, write your name at the top. Now let's take a look at multiplication with carrying, the steps that we just practiced together. Number 1, multiply the ones place and carry the tens digit to the tens column. Number 2, multiply the tens place and add the digit that was carried. Number 3, if there is no digit in the hundreds place, bring the carry digit straight down. So let's look at these problems at number 1. Write the products. Remember to carry when necessary. You may begin working problems A through H. Madison, will you go do number 1 at letter A at number 1? Adriana, will you work letter B at number 2? Good. 2 times 2 plus 1. Good. You got the first one. Now 2 times 2 is what? 4 plus 1 is 5. So go ahead and erase the 4 and fix that number. Good. By number 3, let's take a look at our ones column. 2 times 3 equals 6, and then 4 times 3 equals what? Anna?
12.
12. The answer is correct, but we don't need to have the and 1 at the top because we didn't need to carry anything. You won't always need to carry, but sometimes you will. So you have to think through that. The correct answer is 126. Let's continue working and solving the rest of these problems, D through H. Kaden, go put letter D at number 1. Josh, put letter E at number 2. So you're going to do this problem at number 1. So do this problem on the chalkboard. Josh, come take your paper with you, and then you can do the problem I circled for you on the chalkboard. Lexi, put that problem at number 3. Let's check through some of those again. Check through your multiplying with how you carried. Good. Good, you're thinking through it. Check your tens digit in this one, and then go ahead and finish that one. Okay, what is 9 times 3? Nine times 3 equals 27. So put your 7 and then add your 2 to the top. 4 times 3 equals? Plus 1 equals?
13.
So go ahead and write your answer down. Go ahead. Okay. All right, you're done. All right, let's go ahead and erase some of this, and let's start over. Okay, what is 9 times 3?
27.
So put your 7 down, and what number do you carry?
The 2.
So add the 2 to the top. And then what do you put in front of it? Don't forget to put the adding sign to help you remember to add. Good. Now what's 2 times 3?
6.
Plus 2 is?
12.
Not 12. 6 plus 2. That's why you have to remember to add.
8.
8 is right. All right, you're good. Let's take a look at some work at the chalkboard. Right here, 29 times 3, this is letter D. 9 times 3 is 27, so we have the 7, and then we had to add the 2 to the top of the next column. Notice it was a 2 and not a 1. When you're carrying, it's not always going to be a 1. It is whatever that second digit is in the tens column. So then 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 87 is the correct answer. Let's look at letter E. 29 times 2. 9 times 2 equals 18. We add the 1 to the top of the next column. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 58 is that final answer. Now let's look at letter G. 46 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. Add 1 to the top of the next column. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 138 is correct. If you worked problem G, smile. Morgan, what answer did